me to kiss him? What's that? Oh! It smells so good. That's a guy that works around decomps. Like,
just take a shower, that's all.
So,
yeah, let's put this down here.
Thank you to Jessica, who's not here. She was like, when she called me or texted me this morning, she was literally crying about this whole day because she's really not feeling well, and I know she wanted to be here. But thanks to everybody that was able to make it to this. Charles is a special guy. He was never officially on my shift, but this guy, when I went to the Corners Bureau, trained me up. Some of the best calls that I'll remember forever. And Charles is just the kind of person that everybody likes. I've never ran into any person. Like, I walked in the door here today, and there's 2 retired sergeants that I've known for years, the McVeighs, and you know, they're like, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Oh, we're having a little get together for Charles. He's unfortunately leaving the Corners Bureau and he's going to be retiring." And they're like, "Oh, Charles Frazier? Yeah, oh, I like Frazier. Oh, Frazier's a great guy." I'm like, I've never met anybody that was like Frazier.
Well, where's his wife? You're the exception.
And you know, he brought, you know, his daughter to work in the office. She volunteered, and everybody loved her. It just goes to show you, him and his wife raised a great daughter. You know, they have a good family unit. Tough time in the start, you know. I've talked to Charles, but he's just a great guy, and I'm really sad that, you know, he's leaving us. Especially kind of a sad circumstance, but I'm hoping it's a gift horse, you know. I'm hoping that, you know, he's gonna get out there, and Mama's gonna be retired soon, and they can travel down to LA and keep Dad.
She needs to get a bigger place, right?
But ever since I met him, he's helped me more than I've ever helped him. And you know, I've gone to Tahoe with him on the corners, man, just hanging out. You know, just a good person, and he'd give anybody in this room the shirt off his back. So I know he's appreciative right now of everybody just being here to show your appreciation. He deserves it. When I go, I'm just slipping out the back door.
Yeah, well, I thought I was going to do that.
But again, if anybody wants to say something before Charles does, it'd be appreciated. There's so many great stories. I was laughing about a case we had when I first came to the Corners Bureau, and there's a lady, she had like 5,000 Carlo Rossi bottles piled, like hoarded in her house, and me and him were slipping and climbing over it, trying to drag her across all these bottles. And it's one of those calls that you just like always remember. And you know, Charles took it, but you know, he showed me everything, and so I got a lot of respect for this man. And he's not just a guy that I work with, but he's a friend. Every time I see him, if I haven't seen him in a while, it's just like when I had, hey, Sergeant, I mean, he looks at me like he cares. You know, he comes, and that's why I'd kiss this guy again. Yeah, I just gave him one. Did you see that? Not on the lips, come on.
It was a man kiss.
He's like a brother, dude. I love him like a brother. He is. You know, so I always laugh, you know, and he's just a good guy. So if anybody isn't already drunk and has anything left in their glass, I saved one sip here to just drink to Charles.
Too late, Gina's over.
Gina's late again.
We need to do this over again because Gina just
the bar.
We'll play it back. We'll send you a video.
So, I've been with Charles a long time, and I love Charles. I mean, I mean it. I love you, brother. Listen, A man kiss. Charles probably didn't know this, but when we got the toughest emotional cases, the toughest baby cases, the toughest OIS type cases, they said, hey man, whoever you send out here, make sure, don't worry about it, I got it. I go, hey Charles, I got this special assignment.
You know, Tony and Jeff were here. So.
Tony and Jeff knows right why I made these decisions, because obviously every one of you love Charles. That's why you're here. I'm gonna miss you, man. But I would send Charles out on our absolute toughest cases, because nobody has more humanity, more compassion, more care, more love than I've ever met on this agency than Charles Frazier. So if anybody could do it, talk to the parents, talk to these people that are the worst day on their life. If I'm going to send somebody out, it's going to be Charles to talk to those people on the worst day of their life. And that's not an easy thing. You guys all know what I'm talking about. So he handled it like a champ. I just like sit here waiting for the phone call. Hey, so glad you sent Charles out, man. They really set these people calm. They were running around the hospitals trying to kill people, and Charles just sat them down and talked to them and calmed them down. He was the right guy, the right call, the right guy to send out. I said, I know. That's why I sent him. He's my go-to when it's super highly charged and we need to calm people down. And he had a gift. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Is there anybody that, you know what I'm talking about. So, I don't want to talk on forever. I don't have any specific stories. We were out on a lot of we were out in Oikos together.
Yes.
Balcony claps together. Right?
I didn't go to the scene on that one, but I did go.
But we obviously handled some serious cases, and I had actually counted on Charles to keep me calm. It's like, all right. So Charles, I just look at Charles. Charles is like, dude, things are good, man. We're good. I'm good now.
Remember the protest in Oakland?
Yeah. Yeah.
And me running down the street after the meter maid who gave me the citation.
I'm clear going, Charles, come down.
City of Oakland, no parking Oakland.
They don't like us. Okay, so to piggyback a little bit on what Howard said, there's one person that would walk in the office. You guys all knew I had the office right at the entry door, in and out, and I had maybe the last word or that mother, whatever was thrown in, thrown out. Charles would stop and say, Sarge, how you doing? He's the only, maybe not the only one I remember really at this moment that would say, hey man, how you doing? How are you? How's your family? Is your wife? How's your kids? Is it just me? But I think he did this with everybody. And how many people do you know in your lives that do that? That's because that's Charles. It's the Charles factor. He cares. He loves people. It's genuine. He's a great guy. And so I got off work today, drove all the way to Lakewood, and I drove all the way back here in traffic because of this guy. And there's other people that retire. I don't go to those things. I don't go to a lot of things, but I will come to this one.
Thank you.
So I love you. A lot of good times. So I know there's some storytellers out here, Damon. Tony Gonya.
I know there's a lot of people here with a lot of experience working with me and shared special moments and different experiences. I just want to thank all of you for what you've done for me in my life as a deputy and also as a friend. Co-worker first, but friend forever. And for me, it's a transition. Leaving the coroner's office, the coroner's bureau, going into retirement, but first maybe going to Santa Rita again. No matter where I go, I'll do the best I can. And you know, it's just I've been working all my life, and so I don't really know anything other than work. You know, but when I'm not at work, I like to have a good time. I'm not as serious. Although sometimes I get serious, but my wife and my daughter, they kind of straighten me out. Relax, you're at home now. You know.
Nobody's seen Charles stressed out, right? Double checking.
Yeah. So. I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight and showing that you care about me. I had no idea you guys were going to be here. I like Mexican food, and so my family like to take me to different restaurants. And, I'm like, well, how come we don't just go to the one in Tracy? Exactly. I got two favorite spots up here. They're like, well, we're going to take you someplace you've never been before in Dublin. I'm like, okay, all right. I even had to sit in the back of my daughter's car. I felt like I was in a patrol car. I was driving a Mustang, and I was like all sided like this, Anyway, I just want to thank all of you, tell all of you that I love you, and although I'm leaving and retiring soon, I'll always be around you and be in your life. If you need me, feel free to call me. If I can help you in any way, I'll be there. I don't really have a big retirement plan as far as what I'm going to do other than having a good time, relaxing, sitting on the beach and snorkeling and doing stuff like that, you know.
San Francisco.
Lake Parrish. But in between time, I'll make sure I find the time to see you guys, you know. And once again, thank you. I love all of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you another drink.
All right, John, you cut the cake, I guess, right?
Every time we get a cake, it says that you're dead to me.
Rest in peace.
I thought we always like, hey, we love you, I miss you.